Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is the last call of 2018. It's December the 30th, 2018. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. So I want to start the call tonight by drawing from last week. I don't know if any of the other directors, I think no one said it, so I did it. So anyway, this is my little box of names of people that actually made a comment on Boxer after the thing. And so the winner is Marina Adderley. So she is our winner for last week's call, and I will send you something, Marina. And it's funny, I don't see her on here tonight, and normally she is the very first person that calls in. So congratulations to her. Okay, you guys, so I thought what would be fun is I look back and I have a notebook of where we started the Boss Babe calls January the 7th, 2018. And this is when we started this call. Like the very first call was the very first week of January. And we talked a lot about some different things. And so we're going to recap a little bit of 2018. And I want you to think about, and some of you are new, so you're like, I don't even remember that. So what I am going to do is I am going to post a link to the very first call that we did last year, if I can find it. And then so then those of you that are new will have a chance if you'd like to review some of it, because it's really good. And, just like any other kind of school, when the new year comes, people just start back over, and they're like, okay, let's just go over some of the basics again. And, we're going to run up to the end of the year. And so we're going to cover some basics this next year in 2019, but we're going to review a little bit from last year. So we started this, and it was called the Boss Babe Call. And actually a friend of mine who's a top director, Karen Riddle, put it out there. And she put out a notebook, and it wasn't very detailed. It was just a couple of questions for each week. And then the directors basically came up with their own plan and agenda, and we started it. And it was, really, we kicked it off with a bang. I don't remember how many people were on there that day. I probably haven't written down in that book, but it just started off great. Some people started and they finished the whole year doing Boss Babes. Some started and did it about 4 weeks. Some started and did it about 1 week. Just like a diet, right? People start and like by the week number 2, they're like, forget this. Let me go ahead and get my potato chips out. So, but some of you have lasted, and some of you are new and just jumped on the Boss Babe Call. And so originally the call, it was for women that wanted to move up, women that were leaders, women that wanted to take their business seriously, that did not want to be in the same seat as they were a year from the time that we started. And many of you have moved up, and many of you have made great strides. So we're going to just take a second, and I'm going to remind you of a couple of things that we talked about on the very first call a year ago. Okay? So those of you that are not on there, that were on there, you'll remember this. Okay? So what we talked about is that Mary Kay, your Mary Kay business is your baby. It's your little baby. And so you birthed the baby the day that you signed your agreement with Mary Kay. And so this year, you fed your baby. You fed it all year by educating yourself, increasing your activity, and hopefully you didn't starve your baby. If your baby's got his rib cage showing, you may need to feed your baby a little bit more, okay? Number 3, you changed your baby. Okay, you changed your image possibly last year, your hair, your makeup, your attire. Maybe you just changed your attitude. You need an attitude adjustment. If you didn't change, there's a great chance that your baby stinks. Your baby's got some dirty diapers, and you have forgot to change your baby. So think about these things as I say them, and you may go, I forgot about that one, okay? Number 4, you taught your baby. You taught your baby to be independent. You did not blame other people. Your recruiter, your director, your sister consultant, Mary Kay, the company, Nathan Moore, or anyone else on any failures that you may have experienced in 2018, or give credit to anyone for your successes. You actually took responsibility. We have a thing that we do at home when someone comes in Mary Kay, and we do a little pledge, with this pen, I'll sell them recruit, I'll throw away my pants, I'll bring out my suit. Mary Kay means money Finding money you see, and my success depends entirely on me. So I do myself a favor. I'll get out of my own way, because from this day forward, I am Mary Kay. Okay? We say it for every new consultant, but we need to remember that. So you want to teach your baby to be independent. Number 5, you loved your baby. You loved your baby. You loved your baby all year. You showed that baby the attention it deserved. You weren't, even when you didn't feel like it. And, you know, nobody can love your baby like you do. Even when your baby acts out, you still love your baby. So hopefully you didn't put your baby up for adoption and chunk it out, you know, or leave your baby on the side of the road. You love your baby, you took care of it, and you showed it some attention this year. Number 6, you disciplined your baby, because even though we love our baby, sometimes it can't act out, right? And so when you caught yourself acting out with no bookings, no parties, and bad behavior with no attendance at your meeting, you didn't go to functions, you start talking negative, you didn't share the opportunity, you caught yourself. You gave yourself a good little talking to, and you turned it around. That's how you discipline your baby, okay? You don't put it in baby jail for the rest of their, you know, baby Mary Kay life. Give it a little talking to. That's why you got to get on the meetings every week, because if you go too long, you don't put yourself in baby jail, and we can't get you out. We can't find the key, all right? So number 7, you supported your baby. You supported your baby. You invested in yourself by attending Jumpstart, possibly in January, career conference in the spring, seminar in the summer, your fall advance, weekly sales meetings, and you got on the calls whenever your director did calls and our boss babe calls. So you supported your baby. You invested your money in your business by getting adequate inventory to service your customers. Your customers love you. You're the best beauty consultant that anyone could ever have, okay? You bought gifts from yourself throughout the year. So you supported yourself with your own store. Even for Christmas, you know, you gave gifts for different occasions out of your own inventory in your own store. You supported your baby, all right? Number 8, you protected your baby. You stayed away from negative people and the naysayers and surrounded yourself with positive friends. You became that positive friend that others wanted to hang around. It's one thing that when you want to hang around positive people, but you're negative, and then all of a sudden they don't want to hang around you because you're the negative one. So I've always think, you know, be careful. If all your positive friends start kind of shying away, it might be you. Okay, so you be that person that everybody goes, oh, I want to hang around her because she's so positive. She always brings me up. But you think about who you hang around with. And I know that's what you did this year. You spoke life into your business with positive affirmations. You read positive books. You watched positive videos, maybe listen to podcasts, things to protect your baby and protect the mind of your baby. Okay. Number 9 is that you prayed for your baby. You prayed for your baby every single day. You took God as your partner and you operated on faith, not fear. I have a little thing on my desk that I have, and it says, I will operate on faith, not fear. And I have to remind myself that. So that's the recap of last year. And I'm just wondering, of those of you that have been with us all year, how did you do? How did you do? Did you find yourself, well, there's a couple things that you think, that was a good idea. I probably should have done that. And I don't know if you're like me, but there's times during the year that I was better at some things than other times during the year. Like I remember when I was doing some of the calls with National Sales Director Don Alton Sweeney, and we were doing some different books, and we did Pound the Stone and Chop Wood, Carry Water, and some different things that really changed my thinking during the year. And it really helped me stay positive, and just, it was inspiring to me. And times when I was going through some things like that, I could tell that I was growing as a leader, and I had kind of like a growth plan. All right. So think about your year and the times where you were more focused on growing yourself as a leader and feeding into yourself were you functioning better as a Mary Kay beauty consultant or sales director? I know that I was, when I was really focusing on that and had some accountability and some things I was supposed to be doing. Here's the great news for you guys. Today, surprise, it's December 30th. It's not too late. It's so exciting. We still have another day. That big old ball has not dropped in New York City. In Savannah, Georgia, they drop a big, giant solo cup. That's how we roll down here in the South. It has not dropped yet. There's 31 days in December. I'm so glad because, you guys, I am not hit my goal that I want to hit yet. I have a lot to do between now and midnight tomorrow night. And I am, one thing that I could do is go get under the covers and say, I am so tired, maybe even conjure up that I have fever, maybe, like you can make yourself sick if you think about it long enough that you feel bad. You just keep saying it, and just say, I would have, but I got so sick. Okay, now, I'm not ragging on people that are in the hospital, right? But I'm talking about how we know how we do when we're tired sometimes. But you got to push through. And I am so thankful we have tomorrow. Started, working on it. I've had a lot of family, and I know you guys have too. But, we have time to make some things happen tonight and tomorrow. So the only way it's not going to happen if you just go ahead and get under the covers and take a day off, But why not instead, let's do something these last 24 hours of 36 hours of the month, okay? So let's think about what you could do. Tonight, you can make a list of some people that you could call for booking, number one. Now, they're going to be off tomorrow. Most places are off on New Year's Eve. So you'll probably be able to catch some people, actually, when you call them. Yes, call them. I found that I've been texting a lot, but when I really want to get a point across, I call them. And I may text them too. But you could call them and get them on your books to do the challenge, which is just 15 faces in the first 15 days of the month to kick off your new year. New year, new you makeovers. And if you have not facialed them in the last month, then they have not tried the new Chroma Fusion products, right? So you have a good reason to call every single person you know, except for people maybe that you facialed this month, okay? So new year, new you makeovers, you could get on the phone tomorrow and get you some bookings, set yourself up for the first 2 weeks of the month. Second, you could go through, if you're like me, I have a spiral notebook or some kind of planner that I use, and I make notes of who I'm talking to and, people that I'm trying to book and people I've talked to about recruiting and whatnot. Go through some of your notebooks for the past 3 months if you have them. Open them up at the beginning and just start flipping through. And you may find somebody on there that you had talked to that said, you know what, I can't do it. I can't do it right now, but I could do it, in a couple months, or check back with me. And maybe you could get someone that was thinking about it to go ahead and do it tomorrow. And you have to have a goal. I just need one more person to reach this goal of Mary Kay. You don't understand what it is, but it is a star team builder, and it means I would be in my red jacket, And so people like to help people. Honestly, I mean, if someone came to my door and said, I just got to sell one more necklace to win this trip, I would like, well, let me buy a necklace. I mean, even if I don't need a necklace, I like to help people, don't y'all? And other people will too. So you can make your list of who and go through your books and see if you can find some people that you have talked to before that you could revisit, okay? You want to end the year with a win. You could even do a 24-24-24 tomorrow. 24, sell $24 of product to 24 people in 24 hours. And that would be a $600 order, you guys. I mean, if you really work the 24-24, not just text it, but actually call people and say, I am in a big challenge. I'm just looking for 24 people to buy $24 in 24 hours. Do you need eye makeup remover, some mascara? Do you need a cleanser? Do you need an eye gel? I mean, 24 is so cheap. Almost anybody you called that had any kind of money would probably do it. But you have to have a reason to do it, all right? So these are some things that you could do tomorrow to get some money to place your order, to get some recruits in, to get your bookings, and so that you'll start the year off like with a plan instead of like it be January the 1st and you got snow blindness. There's not one single thing on your books. And you're like, okay. So there's one thing to clear your desk. It's another thing to have nothing on your books. Okay. You do not want a clear date book. Okay. So, that's one of the things that you could also do to end this year with a big, big win so that you'll go into 2019 with a great attitude and with some good things, on the horizon for you. So I want you to set up a growth plan of how you will grow yourself this year. What are some steps that you could take to improve yourself? And I was listening to Pam Shaw recently, and she has this book. It's a 90-day planner, and I bought it, and it's really good. But you have to replace a bad habit with a new habit, a good habit. So if you have a bad habit that you're trying to get rid of, and we have habits every day, and I like the way she said it. She goes, everybody has habits. Like you have them every day. And she said, even the way like you put on your socks and shoes, you usually do one thing before the other. Even the way you get in the shower and you bathe. And I thought, she's right, because every time I get in the shower, I always start with this arm. I mean, I do the same thing, and you form habits until you don't even think about them anymore. When I get up in the morning, I have some of y'all know me. I had braces a couple years ago, and so I have this retainer I got to sleep in. So every morning I get up, I put my little retainer in my little cup. I say I take my teeth out, and I put my little cleaning stuff in there, And I have my little routine I do. I fix me this little shake. I got this little energy drink. I got these little probiotics. When you get older, you have to take all these pills to look this good, right? But, you have your little routine. So, what else could are there some things that you could do that maybe you have a habit that's not as great, maybe you get up and eat ice cream in the morning. You might want to think about something else, right? To start your day. Replace it with something healthy, One of mine was taking the time to read. And I like to read before I go to bed, but to be honest with you, I fall asleep because I go to bed so late. So I'm going to have to schedule time to read, and it may be in the morning, And one of the things that Dawn suggested is have this quiet time before you even pull your phone out, wherever it is, and start looking at stuff. Have some quiet time where you have a prayer journal and you do some reading and you do some Bible study. And before you open your brain up to everybody else's problems and all the other things that you're doing, So I want you to think about that. What is your growth plan? Misha just put me one on there. I love it. So think of that tonight and tomorrow too, and, kick it off and go ahead and start. Tonight at church, I'm just going to kind of end with this thought. We had 3 speakers, and they were talking about transitioning from 2018 to 2019. And they were all just, a lot of really good things that they talked about, and about setting your own standard of living for yourself and God's standard, about, looking at yourself rather than out the window at everybody else all the time. And then the last speaker talked about that normally people set 3 goals in 3 areas of their life. It's usually number 1 is longevity, something that makes them look better or live longer. Okay, which this could cover a lot of things like, lose weight, eat healthier, all that kind of stuff, exercise more. Number 2 is prosperity, that's something that you can do to have more, maybe a goal that you have, a bigger house, a nicer car, pay off stuff so that you can have a better vacation or whatever. Okay, prosperity. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. Number 3 is peace. And that your goal is to have peace and better relationships, maybe spend more time with family and things like that. And so I'm going to give you the secret to success. This is the secret to success. And it's in your Bible. Isn't this awesome? So I'm going to read it to you. You might want to write this verse down. And this is going to give you every single thing that you need this year. Just every single thing you would ever need. All right. So it is found in Proverbs, right after Psalms, Proverbs 3, 1 through 10. So I'm going to read it to you. I know y'all like, oh, Clee's going to get the Bible out and start preaching. Here we go. Okay. My son, and for y'all I'm going to say my daughter, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Aha! That's what he said. Look at that. Okay. So do not forget my law. What does that mean? Don't forget what the Bible says, how to live your life. The verse 3 says, let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. And so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. Number 5, verse 5. You know this verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. And we talk about operating on faith, not fear. That's the verse right there. You know, that you're going to lean on him and let him guide you. Okay, but you have to know who he is first. So if you don't read your Bible, I would just say pull it out, you guys. I'm sure all of you have one. Pull it out and look at it. Okay. Verse 7 says, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health unto your flesh and strength to your bones. Don't be wise in your own eyes. That means don't get too big for your britches. Don't be a braggart. Don't be like that you think you're a know-it-all. You know, lean on the Lord. And in Mary Kay, you also want to lean on people up where you want to be so that you can reach up and don't think you already know everything. None of us have arrived. You know, Mary Kay Ash used to say that we're all students. Now, verse 9 says, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruits of your increase, all of your increase. So your barns will be filled with plenty and your vats will overflow with new wine. And so what that means is as you prosper this year, you know, learn to be a giver and give back to the Lord. You know, and anytime that you kind of have a feeling you ought to give to somebody, don't fight the feeling. Don't talk yourself out of it because the Lord will provide. So funny. My mother came over here on Christmas Day, and I always am giving away my clothes to my sister and my mom. And so I gave my niece a vest, and then my sister, I gave her a really nice coat that I like, but it just don't fit me right anymore, and something else. And then my mom was the last one. I said, well, Mama, don't you need a jacket? And I said, come here, let me find you something. So I opened my coat closet. I got all these clothes. I said, what about this cheetah jacket? I've always liked that. I said, try that on. And it looked adorable on her, you know. And then I said, and how about this vest right here? And then I said, what about this raincoat right here? And so I gave her like 3 coats and a vest. And she's like, you know why I got this? She said, I'm going to tell you a story. She said, there was this lady at church that was trying to get a jacket for this lady who had been homeless, or I don't even remember the whole story, honestly. And so my mom gave her one of her jackets that she just got, that she wears all the time. And she said, and when you give, she goes, it will come back to you from some other place, not the person you give it to. And maybe sometimes it's not even necessarily the same thing you give, it's something else. She said, but look at that. I gave that jacket away and I come back with 3 jackets. She said, God is so good. And so this year, as you prosper, don't forget who's blessing you, and don't forget to give back. You know, and makes you feel good to do it too. And I know you guys are all good-hearted women, and it's just something, it's like a reminder that we need. So tonight, make that list of who you're going to call. We're going to end a little bit early, so some of you are in a different time zone. You can even reach out to some people tonight. You want to take your inventory. As I did my order, I went ahead and I had a order sheet that I got from the Middle of Your Applause magazine. And, you know, sometimes you do your order at the end of the month and you just order whatever you think you need. And half the time you're like, I wish I'd really looked at what I have, because I really was a couple things I was out of. So while I was doing it, I thought, that's so crazy. Let's go ahead and get it. So I went ahead and then I just put my inventory on an order form, so that I would have everything on here. And then some of the stuff that is from a different order form, I wrote them in. And then I've already entered them in on the computer, so I have my whole thing. I could have just added it up on here. And you can do it a different way too. I really wanted to know exactly what I had, but you can also do inventory. You just need a number for the IRS. They don't care how many, you know, smoky quartz eyeshadows you got. They just want the number, right? And so you can just count all your eyeshadows, let's say you got 40 eyeshadows, and then you can just go to your paper order form or go on Mary Kay In Touch and act like you're placing an order and just put 40 under one of the eyeshadows and, 15 cheek colors, like that. You don't have to be as specific. And then just save that order and print it out. It'll have your total on there, and you should have what you need. And then the things that are not in stock right now, you'll have to add those to it. And then what I did is any order that's not in yet, then you want to print it out and you want to add that to it. Because that order, even though you won't get it until January, it counts as your year-end inventory. Okay, so you don't want to forget that. The other thing is you want to go take your cell phone and take a picture of the odometer reading of your car so that you will have your ending mileage. Very important. You want to have your ending mileage, and you want to take that and print that out, or leave it on your phone, or put it in your notes, or however you want to do it. It's good to have a copy from the last time you got your oil change or something, because it also has kind of a record from someone, an outside person, to say what the mileage is. But those are two things that you really need to do. And the other one is you want to add up your sales for the year. And I have a program that I use called UnitWise, but if you've done it on the Mary Kay In Touch, you could do that. Or you could just take your sales tickets up and write them down, or maybe you've done your weekly accomplishment sheet every single week, and you can just have your running total and you're done. So those are a few things that you do want to do. It's harder to do them when it's like, April 14th and you're trying to do it, or October the 15th if you filed an extension. So take it from me, I've done it both ways, and it's a lot easier to do it right now. And so I've just got a little file that I have for my taxes already that shows what my inventory was, what my ending inventory was, what my sales were, and my expenses, and some of that I already have ready to go. So those are some things that you can do when it's not people time. I actually stayed up to 2 o'clock doing it because I can't call anybody at 2 o'clock. I mean, maybe my California cousins, but anyway. So that's what I got for you guys today. A couple of wins that you can make for yourself tonight and tomorrow is to get your key from Mary Kay for this month. The earrings, they're really cute, but more than that, more than these earrings, it's about food. Isn't it always about food? The career conference luncheon, you have to do a 600 every single month, December, January, and February. These are the earrings. Aren't they cute? And by getting your earrings this month, which is a $600 order, then you're on target for the Career Conference Consistency Challenge, where if you do a 600 those 3 months, December, January, February, and get one new qualified team member, then you get to go to the luncheon. So you want to give yourself a chance to win, don't you? And even if you don't get the qualified recruit, you get another beautiful pair of earrings for that. So anyway, you guys, it's been a great year. I'm excited. It's the best year we've ever had. Because why? Because we keep telling ourselves it's going to be the best year we've ever had. And it could be your best year you've ever had. If you can go ahead and claim that it's going to be the best year you ever had. And tonight and tomorrow, your unit is counting on you. And even if you've already ordered, why don't you look and see if there's anything else you might need? Because each one of the units are trying to reach a goal. Because we're going to leadership in San Diego. And it could be that you're like, what? I could do another little $50 order because I do need a Skin Big Rate brush. Go ahead and do it because it would help the unit. Okay. Look at your markers where you are, and let's just end the year on a high note. I can't wait to celebrate with everybody next week on our Boss Babe call, the first one of the year. And so I'm going to have some more guest speakers this year and utilize some of these Top Director girlfriends that I have. I'm always speaking for them, and I need to utilize them more too. So I'm excited to see what the new year brings us. I know it's going to be awesome. So I am going to go ahead and stop the recording.